Okay, so imagine you were given two pills. No, not the one Matrix episode. That's so dumb. Okay, so imagine some. It is not that funny. Imagine I gave you a choice between two pills. One is a red pill and one is a blue pill. And no, I'm not talking about that one Matrix episode where you choose between the truth or blissful ignorance. I'm talking about a red pill that lets you time travel 10 years into the past, or a blue pill that lets you time travel 10 years into the future. Which one would you choose, and which one is the most realistic option? And no, there isn't actually a right or realistic option since this is time travel, but it's also physics, so there might as well be one.
Is this the world's best physics student-directed study?
Let's find out.
Hi guys, my name is Dona, and this is my Physics 30 student-directed study. Yes, I'm in my car, we don't mind that. If you see me looking down, it's because my laptop with everything, oh my god. My laptop with everything on it is down here, and I have nowhere else to put it, so promise, I'm not being held hostage, I'm just looking down at my notes. Anyways, basically, this video is just going to cover a bunch of different topics regarding time travel. We're going to go over what time travel actually is, and the difference of time traveling into the future or into the past. So it kind of regards your choice, whether you chose the blue pill or if you chose the red pill, and some consequences that can happen based on your choice. And yes, time travel isn't really realistic because it's not possible on a really large scale, but we're still gonna look at it because it's my video. I can do what I want. Anyways, so without further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah, get into it.
And before I forget, if you want a little summary of the things that are going to be listed in the video, here's a little terms list that I've summarized if you want to go research them on your own, or if you didn't catch what I said. Here's all of it. I hope that's enough time to look at it. Yeah. This is a warning from future Dona. She has time traveled back to tell you guys that she is very, very sorry for the quality of her mic and the
volume of her voice,
because she did not realize how loud everything was and how crunchy it was until she took them out to hear the raw footage. Very, very sorry. Okay, so before we actually get into what you chose, whether it's the blue pill or the red pill, we have to discuss what time travel is first. Do you guys hear that? Where's that applause coming from? Who's it for? Oh my gosh, it is LeBron James! Made you look. It is actually American philosopher David Lewis holding his journal article called The Paradoxes of Time Travel. You wish it was LeBron, don't you? Okay, short intermission because I have to go home. So, location change. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Alright, well, we should just start with the basics. So, time travel is actually commonly defined as a person moving through time, either into the past or into the future, often arriving at the same spot, just on a different point in the timeline. And our guy David Lewis here, who is unfortunately not LeBron, he defines it as an object's departure and arrival times not equating to the time undergone in their journey. So an example of this would be if you started 2 clocks, one inside your house and one on your phone, and you go on a 2-hour walk as according to your phone time. If you come back to your house and the time on your house's clock does not match up with the time in your phone, that means that you have time traveled. An even more simple definition of this would be if how much time you feel has passed doesn't match up with the one true concept of time that characterizes the world on its single axis, which is basically the amount of time that everyone can agree on that occurred between 2 events. So if those don't match up, time travel has occurred. Other than his definition, David Lewis had a little bit more to say on the concept of time travel. Basically, he said that objects who do not move at all in space move through time in what he calls a streak, but it's better known as a world line. And world lines are the lines of a path in which an object moves on the 4-dimensional space-time. And space-time is a fabric-like model which combines Newton's ideas of a 3-dimensional space and 1-dimensional time, and it was combined by, guess who? Joe Biden! It is not that funny. It was actually combined by Albert Einstein. Anyways, space-time was created by Einstein's theories of relativity, which we'll get into later. World lines deal with space-time, and it shows both the past and the future, because this long line is a spatial location of a particle at any point in time, which is why it's both the past and the future. And the fact that world lines exist on the fourth dimensional space-time is important because the coordinates of space and time need to be mixed accurately to give accurate descriptions to physicists of what they'd want to see, such as if the universe was expanding or not. So, after that confusing definition of time travel, let's confuse you even more. Let's just move on to the choices. This is for those who chose the blue pill, or Into the Future. Ready? It might not look like it, but I just time traveled into a future where an unredacted version of the Epstein files was just released. Well, anyways, I might be in the future. How'd I get here? For that, we're gonna have to discuss with our good guy, Joe Biden! I'm just kidding. It's still Albert Einstein. And his theories. Which one? Good question. Time travel into the future is theoretically possible, and that's because of Albert Einstein's two theories of relativity. One is known as special relativity, and the other one is known as general relativity. In short, special relativity essentially explains the relationship between space, time, mass, and energy, and general relativity explains gravity amongst all those other things. The main idea of special relativity is that Einstein introduced the idea that time is not absolute. It's relative. The rate at which time passes is dependent on how fast you move and how much you are accelerating. In particular, time passes slower the faster you're moving. This is known as time dilation, and this is the part where time traveling is said to occur. So keep time dilation in your brains. Time dilation, time dilation, time dilation. Keep thinking about it. Don't stop thinking about it. I said don't stop thinking about time dilation. Scientifically, time dilation is the slowing of time as perceived by one observer compared to another, depending on their relative motions or positions in a gravitational field. Keep that in your head, because time dilation is a recurring theme in both of these theories, and it is why we think that time travel into the future is possible. So before we actually get into the nitty-gritty of special relativity in relation to time travel, we have to lay out some conditions and state some principles. One of those being the principle that the speed of light is the same for all observers no matter what is very, very critical. This is because the speed of light is a constant. It is the fastest thing in our universe. That's why it must be the same as perceived by all observers. Another thing that we must consider is the laws of physics are the same for reference frames who are not speeding up or slowing down relative to each other. An example of this is if you're on a boat which is moving at a constant velocity. Your reference frame relative to the boat is at rest. The reason that this is important is because if a reference frame is moving relative to another, then those two reference frames will have different perceptions of space and time. So this theory of Einstein of special relativity is that he proposes that nothing, not a single person, not an object, like nothing speed can equal the speed of light. The speed of light is the fastest thing in our universe. It is a constant. Nothing can equal it, but its speed can approach it. If something's speed approaches the speed of light, doesn't equal, it approaches, then they will become shorter in the direction they are traveling, their mass will become greater, and time will pass more slowly for them. This is time dilation. This is the time travel portion of special relativity. If time is passing more slowly for you as your speed increases, then you are experiencing time differently as opposed to an observer. This is why special relativity is considered when we're talking about future time travel, because of time dilation. These ideas of special relativity and time dilation become way more interesting when you start analyzing things that are having higher and higher speeds. Then you can also consider one of, if not the most famous equation in all of history, E equals mc squared. The next few explanations might be long-winded and confusing because they include formulas, but don't get confused, it'll all be wrapped up in the end. E equals mc squared, E is energy, M is mass, we know this. C is the speed of light, and That number, to put it in perspective, is 299,792,458 meters per second. And I've recorded this clip so many times that I've memorized that by now. That is what equals c. C is being squared. Whatever number that is, it is infinitely huge. So it doesn't matter what your mass is, your energy is still going to be unfathomable. The only thing is that this considers objects that are at rest, because the mass that is used is called rest mass, which is basically mass of an object that is stationary. However, if we want to consider the mass of something that is in motion, particularly nearing the speeds of light, if you recall, that's what we need for
time dilation
in special relativity, then relativistic kinetic energy can be used. Here is the equation for relativistic kinetic energy. You can see it is somewhat similar to E equals mc squared. It just includes another symbol, and that symbol is called gamma. Gamma stands for another equation, and that equation is called the Lorentz factor, which is, here's the Lorentz factor. Look at this, and look at this next equation that I'm showing you. That second equation is the equation for time dilation. The most important part about that is the equation for the Lorentz factor is directly related to time dilation. Those equations are identical, and time dilation is the time part of time travel, which is why that is so critical when we're talking about the energy needed. All this talk about special relativity, we have yet to even touch on general relativity, but that's because general and special relativity are much the same. It's just that general relativity includes gravity, and general relativity, the things that it explains are things like the geometry of space-time, how the universe expands, how things move in space, and that's not very critical to the idea of time travel. Except we have to include general relativity's own version of time dilation, which is called gravitational time dilation. Essentially, this talks about the force of gravity on clocks, and clocks that are in gravitational fields run slower than clocks that are not in gravitational fields. The stronger the force of gravity, the slower your clock runs. As confusing as it is, here's some main ideas that we can summarize. For time to move slower, aka for you to time travel into the future, you have to move faster, or you have to be away from a gravitational field. If you want time to slow a significant amount, you want to travel more into the future, you have to move at speeds that are near the speed of light. Here's a graph of moving at the speed of light. You can see that your speed and your kinetic energy has an exponential relationship, and there's an asymptote at c showing that you can never truly be at the speed of light. You can only ever approach it. So when you move that fast, your mass changes considerably because it starts increasing. And we know that energy and mass are related. So for you to have such a large mass that lets you move at near the speed of light, it means that you need an unfathomable amount of energy. So to put that into perspective, when you travel at 1/7 of the speed of light, which is an insane amount still, your mass and your time only shift by 1%. However, if you traveled at 6/7, yes, 6/7 the speed of light, your mass becomes doubled and your time becomes halved. When this velocity is very, very, very closely approaching the speed of light, and I'm talking 99.995%, the mass of the object increases 1,000 times, and the time experienced by that object is 1/1000. This means that if this travel was happening for 1 year, 1,000 years will pass for an observer. So that means you would be traveling 1,000 years into the future. But of course, this is time travel, and time travel is only theoretical. None of this is capable of happening in reality because there's no proven science for it to happen yet. There's only theories that we're basing our things on. Humans can never reach the speed that is required for time travel to theoretically happen, because one of the fastest recorded speeds that humans have endured in a vehicle is 11,000 meters per second roughly on the Apollo 10 that was returning to Earth. And that number is not even 1/10,000th of the speed of light. And theoretically, let's say that we are able to travel near the speed of light. The impact that would have on our bodies is certain death. You will experience organ damage immediately. You'll have difficulty breathing. You will not be able to see properly. And that is only if you don't burn up instantly, because the heat of a person moving that fast would increase so rapidly, you'll likely incinerate. If one was near the speed of light, you will not make it. And on that note, let's travel to the past. Here we are, back in the present, 2026. So now, let's travel back into the past for those who chose the red pill. Here we are. Now I just have an urge to bottle flip. Thank you. Well, this is the past. We can't stay here for long. Here we are, back in the present. Why can't we stay in the past for long? Well, here's the thing. Traveling back in time is much more difficult than traveling into the future. And that is because of... Sorry for the unprecedented song break. Anyways, traveling back into the past is so much harder than traveling into the future because of one thing. Can you guess it?
Time dilation.
Our reoccurring theme. Essentially, to travel backwards in time, your speed has to exceed that of the speed of light. And we already established that humans cannot approach the speed of light as much as they need to for proper future time travel to occur. So it is unfathomable for you to exceed the speed of light. This means that you are going to have an infinite amount of mass and an infinite amount of energy, because the kinetic energy that you need to be able to move at that incredible speed, my favorite word, unfathomable! And another thing to note is that once something is FTL, faster than light, it is breaking causality. And causality is when there is a cause and effect. When that breaks, that means the effect is happening before the cause. And this is where we get paradoxes. So something that people like to bring up a lot when we're talking about time travel into the past is wormholes. And the thing with this is that wormholes are as theoretical as time travel itself. Wormholes are tunnels that connect 2 points in the space-time fabric, the fourth dimension, and it allows things to travel through them instantaneously. So that means FTL. However, this doesn't eliminate the fact that it is still breaking causality and that an effect is going to happen before its change. And that brings us to an end. I already brought us back to the present, so here we are. Regardless of if you chose the blue pill or the red pill, time travel is still very much a theory, and it's not possible on the large scale. Even though it's a theory, like I said, when you take in physics, there is a more realistic option. I'm sorry to all the people who want to go into the past and get Bitcoin. It is not possible. Time travel into the future is the only thing that we have that is supported by evidence, supported by theories, scientists, that's been backed by studies and experiments. Time travel into the past is really just hopes and dreams of science fiction fanatics. So, all in all, thank you for watching my physical science. So, all in all, thank you for being here with me through my Physics 30...
The Bluetooth device.
So, all in all, thank you for being here with me through my Physics 30 student-directed study. It was very fun. I've been talking to myself for many hours. I think I've lost my voice. Thank you to Albert Einstein for your theories on general relativity. Hopefully he'll be able to time travel and see these maybe one day. Thank you, David Lewis, for your philosophies on time travel. Thank you, LeBron James, for being with us in spirit. And so, yeah, don't forget to smile.
Yeah. Okay, love you guys. Don't forget to smile.